Okay, so let's do something very basic to drill this in. We have a things array. The things contains apples, bananas, and candies. And every array in JavaScript has a for each method. What is this for each method? It basically just means for each item inside the array, aka things, for each item inside the array, call this method, call the method, or call the function, I mean, whatever you're calling, whatever the name of this function is, we're calling this function, okay? For each item in things, call do something and pass that thing, pass that item into that function. So function do something accepts the item, and this function is just gonna do a simple console.log, okay? So what is the item? For each item in things, the items are apples, bananas, candies. So what does this mean? We're literally calling for each item for do something apples, do something bananas, do something candies. Okay? For each item in things, call do something and pass the item. Now, another thing is you can also pass the index. Okay? You don't have to change anything here. You just change the parameters in the function because this is an optional parameter. You can have the index or not. And when you pass the index, it's going to literally pass 0, 1, and 2. Okay? So, we were talking about anonymous functions earlier, right? um Anonymous functions and closures. So how exactly does it work? Why? So instead of calling the name of the function, you can literally just type it in here. And how does that work? So for example, in JavaScript, function do something is the same exact thing as var do something equals function. Okay? This is the same exact thing. Function do something is this. Okay? It's literally in JavaScript of functions are technically variables, okay? So variable do something equals a function. Exact same thing. This is the exact same thing. Okay? Function do something is the same thing as var do something equals function. Okay? So what are we doing here? Instead of naming a function, we are literally copying and pasting this function and pasting it here. Boom, like that. That's all we did. That's an anonymous function. We're not giving it a name anymore. We're copying and pasting this function into here, and that's it. So instead of calling the name of the function, it's just running the function like on its own right here. Anonymous function, closure. That's it. That's what anonymous functions are. That's what closures are. Okay. So yeah. So why did we do this? So let's go back. So hopefully you understand this part so far, where instead of calling the function, we're just calling the name of the function. We're just running a function in there. So the reason why we did this is, let me delete this. Um, so this is the situation that we have. Okay, Luke, Ben, Ray, Kylo, and Droid. Okay, this is the situation. Function droids accepts an array, which we'll call R. Okay, and then console.log droid Star Wars. So what are we doing? We are calling this function and passing the Star Wars array. And what are we doing in this function? Let result equals empty string, and we're going to return the result. In between it, in between this, we are going to run the forEach loop. Now, why did we run an anonymous function / closure? Reason for that is, let's for example say r dot forEach, and then let's say we call the name of the function search for string. Okay, and now let's name the function here. Function search for string, and it's going to accept an item. And we could say something like if item equals droid, result equals found droids. Otherwise, or else, result equals these are not the droids you are looking for. Okay. And once again, function search for string is the same thing as var search for string equals function. Okay. So for the sake of simplicity, we'll just run it like this. We'll name it var search for string equals function. Okay, so why did I not do it like this? Why did I not just call the function? Why did I do a closure / anonymous function? The reason is, remember here, result, we're returning the result. This result is this variable only exists locally within this function. So when I say if item equals droid, result equals found droids, it actually doesn't know what this variable is. There is no variable in this function called result. In order to bypass that, we use the anonymous function. We just simply copy and replace this. Okay, copy and replace. And bam, now because we're running it within this function, it has access to the local variable result, and it can change that variable. And that's it. That's the reason why we're running anonymous function / closures. And hopefully you understand why or what the forEach is. You understand how it works and why. Yeah, hopefully you understand everything. If you don't, just ask me.